Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Georgia Chiro Connection. I'm your host, Dr. Cathy Wendland, and this week I'm really excited because not only are we kicking off our every week session of the Georgia Chiro Connection, but we're really going to talk about what's going on with the GCC. And we have our president, Dr. Dan Tew, who's going to talk to us about some recent events and some recent updates that we've got. So, hey, Dr. Dan, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dr. Cathy?
I'm excited because I'm excited to share all of the good work that came out of our recent board retreat. So I'm just ready to dive right in. So let's see, what are you going to talk to us about today?
Sure. We did one of these, I don't know what it was. It was maybe a month ago. You and I did one of these, and we had talked about how, the GCC was going to be getting together to do our yearly planning committee and weekend retreat type of a setting where, really the board got together and for a solid, I don't even know what it was, 10 hours, 12 hours, something of that nature, really pounded out and hashed out the goals and the vision for the GCC for this upcoming year and into next year. And I was, number one, just want to say that I'm super proud of our board. I mean, some of these people have been serving for a decade or more on this board. We had the honor of having Dr. Bobby Braille, who was our past president, come back to the board this year after taking a couple of years off. So the board is stronger right now than I think it's been in a long time, and it's just so awesome to see everybody come together and really put their energy and their talents together. And this past weekend was an amazing show of that, and just how much talent and how much we can get done whenever we put our minds to it. So, one of the things I know that we talked about at our last meeting together, you and I, doing this Georgia Chiro Connection, was that one of the things we wanted to do was we wanted to make sure that Georgia chiropractors knew just how much value and how much work was going into the GCC and just how valuable of a resource it was going to be for them. And we really put that onto ourselves moving forward, that we want to make sure that you guys know out there that the GCC is working hard for you. And so one of the things that I'm super excited to share that we talked about and that we discussed at this last weekend was just how we were going to do that. Like, how are we going to make the GCC an incredible value and an incredible asset for you in your practice and your everyday life? And we came up with some really amazing things. Just to kind of touch on a couple, number one, we're going to be doing community outreach. We're really going to start engaging the public. So we've been working very, very hard the last couple of years to put the GCC into a position where we actually had the ability, we had the backing to do that. And this year we're going to start launching that out into the public. And our goal here is to educate the public, to be the resource for the public, so that when the public is going out and looking for a chiropractor, looking for help, looking for the things that you do in your offices, we have a platform to get in front of them and direct them into your office, okay? So actually putting new patients into the offices of our amazing GCC doctors. And that was probably one of the most exciting things that we talked about this weekend, because I truly believe that one of the core missions of the GCC needs to be educating the public and serving our GCC chiropractors and helping to connect those two audiences so that everybody benefits. People get what they want. We help our chiropractors grow their practices and influence their communities at a higher level. And we actually, for hours, put together a plan to actually make that happen this year. So I'm super excited about that. I cannot wait to launch that. I can't wait for that Georgia Chiro Connection call when we can discuss all of the details of what's going on with that program. So that's one of the things.
Yeah, that's the big one. I know that's the one that I'm most excited about, because that's something that our board for the last 10 years has talked about, has rallied behind the idea of it, but we never really had the means to do it, or the tools to do it, or the people in the right positions to get it done. And now all of that has come into place where we're actually able to do this amazing public awareness campaign, and we're able to fund it so that we can get great quality chiropractic information out to the general public. So when they're searching, we know how to find them now, and we can deliver the information that they're searching for and funnel them back to GCC chiropractors. That's huge, because once we start growing your offices and bringing more awareness to people in your community, then they're seeking out chiropractic as the solution rather than as a last resort, or as, well, somebody said to give it a try and I'll give you 1 or 2 tries. No, they're going to actually be seeking chiropractors as the solution to their healthcare concerns for themselves and their families.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be awesome. Excited to launch that. That wasn't everything that we talked about at the meeting. Obviously, there was a lot of other topics. One of the other big things that I really want to try to help reestablish for our Georgia chiropractors and even the surrounding states. We have a lot of affiliate doctors that are part of our organization that are in the surrounding states. But one of the things that I really want to start rehashing now that kind of and I know that most of us our lives weren't really altered all that much by COVID in terms of like what we did day to day and things of that nature. But it certainly was more of a challenge to create community for our chiropractors. Historically, one of the things that I feel that the GCC has always been phenomenal at the whole time that I've been involved has been to create communities so that the chiropractors don't feel like they're out on an island, practicing all over the state, wherever it is that they are, and, doing their day to day and helping their patients and serving their patients. And it's just, day after day. And, we've always been really good at creating community. I mean, like as little as 3 years ago, before all this craziness happened, we were putting 150 chiropractors in a room, doing philosophy nights, doing parties, casino nights, creating environment for chiropractors in the state to come out and congregate with their GCC fellows and create friendships or reconnect with people that they know and they love over the years. And we're bringing all that back, baby. I'm so excited about that part of it. It's like, it's what chiropractic needs. Like, I feel like the whole environment of life has been at such a lull the last couple of years. And I'm super excited to start bringing some of that stuff back so that we can start to create, that good, awesome, principled chiropractic buzz that the GCC has always been so good at. So I'm super excited about that part as well. Yeah. And I know we're actually doing, coming up Cinco de Chiro. Is that going to be at your place again this year? Have we decided that?
It is. So Cinco de Chiro will be at my place, and then I'm pretty sure the cornhole is going to be at your place. And then I know we've got an event coming up in August that's going to be at Life University. This way, we've got some two really good fun events coming up in May and June, and then we've got our philosophy that's going to be happening in August. So there's a lot of opportunities for chiros to connect, and really that's our goal, because I know when I go out into the world and you go out with your civilian friends, the conversation's very different than when I go out and I'm surrounded by a bunch of chiropractors. And so I think it's so much more advantageous and so much better for myself as a chiropractor and our profession for us to get together, to have dinner, to talk about philosophy, to have a nuts and bolts workshop, to just really be around other people that believe what we believe, think what we think, do what we do, and practice it every day. It reinvigorates you. And if you're a chiropractor that feels like you've been kind of on your own these last 2 years, it's time to come back. We're coming back together. Opportunities to get back together are coming fast and furious. I know you see the crawl along the bottom of your screen with all the events we've got coming up. And we really want you to not just connect with us here on social media, but to connect with us in person. Give us a hug. Talk about what's been going on. What are the challenges you've faced over the last 2-3 years? What are the ways that you've overcome some of the hurdles that have been thrown in your direction? Yeah. So many opportunities to get together. And another thing that we have coming up is obviously we've got a lot of continuing ed events coming up. So you see some of those coming across the bottom of your screen. And we're in different cities all over the state, as we've done in the past. We're just going to make sure that we're really hitting those South Georgia events. We're hitting Atlanta. We're hitting Augusta. We're hitting Savannah. We've got our golf tournament coming up. And I know that was a big part of our board retreat 2 weeks ago. And Dr. Dan, tell us some of the other exciting things that we've got going on. I think we lost your audio. Yep, I see you, but I don't hear you. All right. So just in case you can't hear Dr. Dan, in the meantime, I'm going to jump in and I'll kind of tell you a little bit about what he was going to say. And I'm going to read his mind for a minute. Dr. Dan, can you still hear us? You can hear us, but we don't hear you. So I think what might have happened is your Bluetooth might have just disconnected or something. And maybe that's what's happening. It's all right. I can tap dance for a sec here. All right. Well, we lost your mic, so it's okay, because what we're going to do is we'll just wrap up the call with a call to action. How about that, Dr. Dan? That work for you? So our committees in the GCC board retreat 2 weeks ago did a lot of work. But one of the things that we were so excited to see is we had past board members not just come back to join our board again, but some came back to volunteer their time and get involved in the committee. So I'm going to put a call to action out right now. If you're watching this, if you're a Georgia chiropractor, if you're part of the GCC, if your team wants to be part of the GCC and you want to get involved, we could use your help. We've got committees, we've got education committees, we've got event committees, we've got marketing committees, we've got this committee that's going to be working on this public awareness campaign. If that's your forte, or you have time and energy to give to the GCC or give back to your profession, then I want you to reach out to us. And it's as simple as you could just put a comment right below this video, or you could send a message directly to any member of our board. You can send it to me through Facebook, Dr. Dan through Facebook. But if you want to get involved, we would love to have you. We have a board meeting every month. And as you saw on the crawl that was going along before, we've got events coming up. They begin in May and they just go fast and furious throughout the remainder of the year. So if that's something that's on your heart, you want to get involved, we would love to have you. If you're a speaker that has a phenomenal chiropractic continuing ed program that you want to help share with the masses, then reach out to us, because we'd love to find out what it is that you are passionate about and willing to talk about and teach for our great profession in the state of Georgia. And if you are new to the GCC, thank you so much for joining us. If you're not yet a member, put a little comment below. We'll be happy to get you the information we need. Dr. Dan, do you have a mic yet? Still no mic. So Dr. Dan, I'm going to let us sign off today and say thank you for the valuable information that you did share. It was absolutely relevant. It's what we needed to hear from you today. I know on our next call coming up soon, you and I are going to talk about some more in-depth stuff when we get to share really about this public awareness campaign, as well as about our golf tournament that is coming up in September. So check out that crawl along the bottom of the screen. All the dates are listed right there. We're going to see you back. We're going to be doing this every Wednesday at 1:30. So grab your lunch, have a quick seat, sit down, watch this live with us, or catch it after the fact. And if you're catching it after the fact, just drop a comment below that says #replay so we know you saw it. All right. I want to thank everybody for joining you. It's good to have you here. Dr. Dan, I know you can't say goodbye, but thank you for joining us. And we'll see everybody next week, 1:30 on Wednesdays for the Georgia Chiro Connection. Bye-bye, everybody.